Greetings and welcome back to The Scene here on 88.1 The Park. It is a Thursday night. It is the final Thursday night show that we'll have for the calendar year of 2016. My name is Nick Brandon. I am the director of the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio, which is fortunate enough to co-sponsor and co-produce this show here on 88.1 The Park, which aims to do our best to shine the light, a very well-deserved light, on PCEP and local musicians. This park in these three high schools are full of so much musical talent. We are honored and very privileged to bring to the airwaves on these Thursday nights the best in PCEP music. But tonight, it's all going to be painted with a little bit of a holiday flair, as this is our official holiday show. I got to give Bill Keith, station director of 88.1 The Park, a lot of credit. This was his idea. We were going to kind of skip December and take the month off, but Bill said, hey, why don't we bring some bands in and do some renditions of holiday and Christmas songs? And I thought, well, that'll be an interesting thing. And tonight should certainly be a very interesting show. We're going to hear from Keegan Weaver, or Me and the Dog, as he calls it. He's here. Hilltop Drive is here. Binga Howard is here. They're all out in the hallways here at Salem High School doing a little bit of rehearsing, a little preparation for their own renditions of holiday music. And we have a recording of the band Cup, which we'll hear from here in a minute. So it's going to be a nice rendition tonight of some holiday favorites, some creativity in the house this evening. In terms of the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio, what a year 2016 it's been. It's been just so awesome to bring in all of the student musicians to come and use it as a rehearsal space, as a recording studio, as a place to just hang out and write songs and come up with ideas. We look forward to a great 2017, but 2016 is really where the place has been built. And some of the artists that you'll hear tonight are the people that have really made it what it is at this point. And hopefully it's something that are making a lot of musical dreams come true and a lot of musical passions get even stronger. So it's a fantastic thing. It's been a great few months for the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio. And we want to thank everybody that has supported it and everybody that's been involved. But tonight it's all about the music. So we're going to hear from Cup. We'll hear from the Verve Pipe after Cup with this Christmas time. The Verve Pipe, of course, one of the most famous acts to come from the state of Michigan, with that gigantic hit, The Freshman, and being signed to RCA Records. And the Verve Pipe is a certain favorite of mine and many other Michigan music fans. But first, we're going to hear from the local guys, Hayden, Joe, and Theron, who make up the band Cup, who was one of our earlier in-studio guests here on The Scene. This is Carol of the Bells, and they did it in the way that only Cup can. So we look forward to hearing this. To kick off the show here on The Scene, the holiday show on The Scene on 88.1 The Park, here is Carol of the Bells by our good friends, Cup.
The new 88.1, The Park. It's what downtown Plymouth listens to.
This Christmas Time by The Verve Pipe, here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. Welcome back to another Thursday night. The Verve Pipe, one of the great Michigan acts, I would say really ever. Signed to RCA Records in the late 1990s, put out an album called Villains with that gigantic hit, The Freshman, which did very well for both the Verve Pipe and their record label. So well that they were able to put out a couple more major label albums. And now they've spread themselves around to do things like Christmas albums and a children's album. And I know the lead singer, Brian Vander Ark, has kind of a new incarnation of the Verve Pipe that he's been touring with. So it was good to check in with those guys. Before that, we heard from one of the favorite bands of PCP and In the Band Music Appreciation Studio, Cup, with their individual rendition of Carol of the Bells. That, of course, is Hayden, Joe, and Theron. Theron, there's your shout out. I didn't include you earlier, but the trio known as Cup with Carol of the Bells here on the scene. We bring in our good friend, Keegan Weaver, who actually was our first guest on the scene here a few months back. Time flies, doesn't it, man?
It really does.
Seems like just yesterday you were sitting here as our
It was
first
in
guest.
August, right?
Yeah,
It
was. Lots happened since then, including like almost a full semester of school. But I got to be thinking, Keegan Weaver, that you are ready for a 2-week break coming up.
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody is. Everybody's clocked out.
Yeah. Students, teachers,
Yeah.
administrators, everybody. But the 2 weeks will do us all very well. I think we'll all catch up on some sleep and hopefully listen to some good music. I know I've got like 10 records that were released this year that are still sealed that I need to open and listen to. So I think that'll be good. So you are going to do a very interesting choice tonight. How did you choose your holiday song for the show tonight?
Well, I saw, like, I just saw it somewhere. I think I had, like, an old sheet of, like, Christmas music. So I started messing around with it, and I was like, I like this version. And also, this is, like, I took piano lessons for, like, a solid month in, like, 5th grade. And this was, like, the one song I learned.
This is it?
Yeah. This is the song I used to know on piano. I don't know it anymore.
It is Jolly Old St. Nicholas, and I'm looking forward to, I guess we can call this the Me and the Dog rendition.
Yes.
It seems like 2016 was a very good year for you musically. I know that you've played a number of shows. Me and the Dog released the EP, which sounds amazing, and Junior High Cheer Squad has taken off. So tell us about your 2016. It sounds like a significant year for you.
Yeah. Me and the Dog really happened. Like, the first show was in, like, October of 2015. So 2016 was the first full year of Me and the Dog being a thing. So, yeah, I released a 4-song EP. Along with a few months later, I released the single called Sore Throat. I released it on air here. And, yeah, I played a lot of shows. I started to hone my craft as a performer. I started to realize what that kind of takes. And, yeah, I think 2017 is going to be huge for Me and the Dog. Just releasing more music, playing more shows. I know that this summer I want to at least try to do like a mini Michigan tour, kind of go around for a weekend or a week or something like that. And, yeah, just kind of get my music out there.
Yeah, it's awesome. You're clearly one of the best and most confident performers in the scene, and it's been awesome to watch you grow just in 1 year. So I agree with you. I think 2017 is going to be an awesome year for you. So let's end 2016 for you with one of the most fascinating performances that I'm sure you've done with your rendition of Jolly Old St. Nicholas. Here is Me and the Dog here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. Keegan, take it away.
St. Nicholas, lean your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm going to say. Christmas Eve is coming soon. Now you dear old man, whisper what you'll bring to me. Tell me if you can. broad and black. With your pack you'll crave all the stockings you will find hanging in a row. Mine'll be the longest one, surely you will know. Bobby wants a pair of skates, Susie wants a sled, Nellie wants a picture book, yellow, blue, and red. Now I think I'll leave to you what to give the rest. Choose for me, dear Santa Claus, surely you'll know best.
Jolly Old St. Nicholas from Me and the Dog. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Fantastic stuff,
Thank
as
you.
always, from Keegan Weaver or Me and the Dog. Wow. You know, when we set out to do this show, I was thinking, what is everyone going to bring in terms of their renditions of these songs? That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in and doing that, man.
Of course.
I know that I'll give you a quick chance to plug what I think is your next show, but I know it's one that's coming up, which would be in early January. I know it because the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio is co-sponsoring it, but it's going to be at the Plymouth Arts and Recreation Complex. Tell us about the show.
Yeah, the show's on January 6th. A big thing we wanted to do is incorporate some new bands, and we just kind of wanted it to be a night of like new stuff. We got a new venue. This is the first show we've really had a local show, or first time we've had a local show in this particular venue. And then we've got a bunch of new bands. We've got bands like Alchemist, which they're not really new, but they're new to us. They're new to playing shows down here with us. So we got bands like Alchemist and my band, Junior Head Cheer Squad, which I'm drumming in, which we are fairly new. And then a very good band called Swordfish. Swordfish is fantastic. I think a lot of people like them. And then the people that'll be on later, Hilltop Drive. Hilltop Drive will be playing. And yeah, it's on January 6th at Park. And I just think it's gonna be a great time. It's I'm really excited for it because I like new things. And
Yeah, it's going to be a great bill. We're proud to be part of it. And I do want to thank you for all the time that you spent in the studio and in the band. We were opening the show by talking about what a great year it's been, 2016. And you've been one of our most frequent users, and I hope that it's helped you musically. So thanks for taking advantage of that.
oh, of course, yeah, we want to thank you. Like, Junior Head Cheer Squad specifically wouldn't be like anywhere close to where we're at without In the Band studio, just because like we all live with our parents because we're young, and so like moms don't always want to hear drums going in the basement and stuff, and so just kind of to have a place to be like, hey, we don't have to be loud, or like we're allowed to be loud. It's just helped tremendously, and so we want to thank you.
Yeah, it means a
Yeah.
lot. It means a lot. It's what it makes all the work worth it. So thank you, Keegan Weaver, for the awesome performance and for all you've done for the scene, and we will see much more of you as we go. For now, let's turn our attention to Rosie Thomas, a local artist who spent a little time in the Sub Pop Records label, which of course makes her an instant favorite of mine because it's one of the best indie labels. I'm going to say the best indie label in all of music. So from Sub Pop here to the scene on 88.1 The Park, here is Rosie Thomas. Rosie Thomas on the scene on 88.1 The Park. Welcome back to our holiday edition of the scene. Definitely want to thank Keegan Weaver for coming in. What a haunting and very cool version of Jolly Old St. Nicholas from his solo project, Me and the Dog. And we are going to bring in some more guests. This is like a star-studded edition of the scene tonight for our holiday edition. And we're going to bring in the band Hilltop Drive, which actually will be our January guest for when we leave the holiday edition behind and rejoin our normal programming for the scene. we're going to bring in the Hilltop Drive guys to do a little in-studio performance and an interview. I know that, as Keegan mentioned earlier, Hilltop Drive will be part of that show at the Plymouth Arts and Recreation Complex on January 6th. Guys, welcome to the scene. It's good to have you.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for having us.
We've played a lot of Hilltop Drive here on the scene because I was just completely blown away and still am by you guys' latest single.
Thank you so much.
The song is, of course,
Horizontal.
Horizontal, yes. And blown away by the quality of it, but also just the musicianship behind it and the fact that there's a guitar solo and it warms my heart. You guys have to know that there was a
That's
phase.
all Chris.
Yeah, I'm glad it warms your heart.
It does, man. It does. There's a phase in music in the maybe early 2000s where like guitar solos were deemed uncool, and I'm glad they're cool again.
Yeah, we're making guitar solos great again.
I love it. Yeah. Well played, Chris. Love it. So we've got Chance Poulos and Chris Crater. Am I saying those right?
Crager.
Crager, that's right. But tell me about the song you chose to perform for us, Winter Wonderland.
Yeah.
How did this one come about?
It's my mom's favorite Christmas song.
Nice.
So
Shout out to Mrs. Poulos.
yeah, right. It's always good to choose something that you know mom's going to like.
mm-hmm.
Is she listening too?
she is.
Nice. All right. So not only is she going to hear you guys on the air, but she's going to hear her favorite Christmas song.
She's probably already crying.
In a good way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tears of joy. I
Yeah.
hope. Yeah. I've played gigs before where my parents cried. They were not tears of joy, though. So, it's good that it's happiness. So we'll hear much more from you guys in January. We're really looking forward to having you guys come in the studio. But why don't you take it away right now and play Hilltop Drive's version of Winter Wonderland. Let's hear
Thank
it.
you. All right.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, the snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman and pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no man, but you can do the job while you're in town. Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland. Snowman and pretend that he's Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no man, but you can do the job while you're in town. Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland, walking in a winter wonderland, walking in a winter wonderland, walking in a winter wonderland.
Yeah. Hilltop Drive here on the scene on 881 The Park. Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Chris rocking out on the sleigh bells. If there was a Grammy for best sleigh bell performance, you, my friend, would get it.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
And you're multi-dimensional because on Horizontal you play the guitar solo, and tonight you're doing the sleigh bells and the
Right.
vocals.
Sleigh bells is the main instrument, but
Yeah.
And Chance, of course, on vocals and guitar. Guys, we look very forward to you coming back in January. And 2016, I know, has been a good year for you guys with
Yes,
the
it has.
recent release of some
Lots of fun.
music, for sure. And I know that you've been able to spend some time in the Band Music Appreciation Studio.
Yep.
yeah, we've been trying to get there more lately.
For sure, yeah. And hopefully it's a good resource for you guys moving
definitely is,
into
For sure.
to 2017, because we're here for local musicians to make you guys great again. Although you guys were always
For
great,
sure.
right?
Thank
you
you.
guys were always great. So we will see you guys again in January. Thanks a bunch for the performance.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Chance,
you.
I think is your mom still crying?
Probably.
Yeah,
most
yeah.
likely.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Good. Well, thanks for coming in, and
Yep.
we are going to now shift our attention to another Michigan artist that hopefully Hilltop Drive will be as famous as one day, and this is Marshall Crenshaw, who of course had that gigantic '80s hit. What was it? Someday, Some Way? Was that the song, Bill? Keith?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
can't remember the exact title.
So catchy, like crazy
Yeah.
catchy.
And he was involved with the La Bamba
yeah,
because he played Buddy Holly.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, very talented dude, and very proud to have him and many other great musicians from the state of Michigan. So now we are going to hear "Sock It to Me, Santa" by Marshall Crenshaw and the Chisel Brothers, and we'll have more local music for you here on the Scene on 88.1 The Park. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're about halfway through the show, and we still have the Scene Rewind segment, and of course, Binya Howard's going to do a very interesting rendition of a Justin Bieber Christmas song. Hilltop Drive, I'll tell you guys, it's probably going to be my favorite thing ever
sure.
associated with Justin Bieber. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Either way, Binya rocks, right?
Yeah.
He's awesome. So let's turn our attention back to Marshall Crenshaw. Here is "Sock It to Me, Santa" on the Scene on 88.1 The Park. Marshall Crenshaw and the Chisel Brothers with "Sock It to Me, Santa," kind of a rockabilly thing going on there. I'm not sure who the Chisel Brothers are, but I certainly know, and every Michigander music fan should know, who Marshall Crenshaw is here on the Scene.
They were a blues band that they did a lot of stuff with Thornetta Davis back in the, I want to say in the 90s, maybe in the early 2000s. And quite a good band. They played quite a bit around Detroit, but I don't think they're still doing anything.
Yeah. There is this sort of blues scene around the Detroit area.
Yeah.
I know every year there's at least one, but I think a couple kind of blues fests that are pretty major. You mentioned Thornetta Davis.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been quite a lot of talent that's come out of this area in the blues scene.
Definitely.
And so there you go, Bill Keith, jumping in with some valuable information. The only guy that knows more about music, I think, than I do is
I don't know about that.
is Bill Keith. So we heard from Marshall Crenshaw with the Chisel Brothers, and we'll continue with our holiday theme in a little bit, but we're actually going to throw in a version of the Scene Rewind here during our holiday show, shift away from the Christmas and holiday songs a little bit to tune into the past in terms of PCEP music. Every show on the Scene Rewind, we like to look back and discover and examine a past PCEP artist or band. And tonight we're going to go with the group Which Way Is Home. Bill Keith, tell us a little bit of your memories of this group.
Well, I remember, gosh, they were coming up probably in the early 2000s, maybe the late 90s, early 2000s. And we often would get, this was back when we were more of an indie rock format, we would often get local artists sending us their CDs, and they'd be of, I don't know, they'd mixed value. Some would be really good, some would be but I remember, and if you tended to get stuff from high school kids, it was always kind of,
Yeah.
kind of interesting. And we got the first album, the one before this one, from Which Way Is Home, and we instantly put it on the air, and it was credible stuff. And we're like, these guys are in high school? And then they came out with their next album, Are You Listening? And it's a 7-song release, and we played the heck out of the song Danny Wait. I mean, we just played that nonstop. And Eric Nicolau, who was the singer of the group, eventually, probably in his early 20s, relocated to L.A., West Coast, and I was looking him up online to see what he's up to, and I guess he's still doing music and toured as a guitar player for Selena Gomez, and I think he had said he was on an episode of Glee. He was kind of in the some band that was depicted on the show, and so it's interesting to see that he's still making music, and so good job, Eric Nicolau, and it's fun to listen back and hear a little bit of Which Way Is Home.
It is fun to listen to that. I tell you what else is fun, Bill, is when you and I kind of kick around the ideas of who to bring on to the Scene Rewind, because there's just countless artists that have come through this place, and like Eric Nicolau, a lot of people who have left the park who were musicians that have gone on to be a national touring act or be on a TV show or find some sort of way to continue their career in music or entertainment. I think it speaks to the experience of the park. I think it speaks to the experience of this area, such a strong musical area in terms of the Detroit area. So it's very cool to look at all the artists that have come out of here and choose just one. And tonight it's going to be Which Way Is Home. Bill Keith mentioned the song Danny Wait. We're going to hear that one, and then we're going to hear Obligated. Both songs from Which Way Is Home here on the Scene Rewind on 88.1 The Park. Danny Wait and Obligated from Which Way Is Home, which comprised our The Scene Rewind segment tonight here on 88.1 The Park on the holiday edition of The Scene. Bill Keith, that was awesome. I'm really impressed.
I know, it was shocking. It was shocking that they were high school students when they put that out.
Just sound quality alone is outstanding, but the musicianship, the songwriting, the way they kind of interwove different rhythms, and I mean, that is really impressive stuff. Bill, you better keep an eye on this CD. I might be walking out with this tonight.
Well, you're welcome to borrow it.
I'm going to borrow it.
We have
download it.
one here, I think, and then that's my copy of it. So you're welcome to borrow it.
I wish it was pressed on vinyl. I think the odds of that are about 0, right?
Yeah. I don't know if they'll ever re-release it even. You might be able to find it on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm going to have
Sometimes the weirdest things show up there, so I wouldn't be surprised.
You're right. I'm going to have to track it down, though. Which Way Is Home here on the Scene on 88.1 The Park. Great choice. I got to give Bill Keith a lot of the credit for that choice. Of all the Scene Rewind segments we've had, and we've had some good ones, that one might be my favorite. So good to hear from Eric Nicolau and Which Way Is Home. Now we are going to hear from Binga Howard. Binga, welcome back to the Scene. It's good to have you back here. How are things going?
They're going pretty well.
Are you excited for 2 weeks off of school?
I am more than excited, actually.
Seems like it's much needed for everybody. You know, Keegan was talking about everyone's, I think he said checked out at this point.
There's no doubt about that one.
You're seeing that in your classes this week? But you got one more day. So,
yeah.
Binga Howard, let's finish strong tomorrow, and then we'll give you 2 weeks off. How about that?
That sounds great.
Fantastic. So when we put together this idea of this show, I kind of sent a text message to all the bands that have been part of in the band and part of the scene and said, hey, you know, what do you guys think of this concept? And, you know, everybody almost immediately replied back with ideas. But your idea, which was a little bit of a later bloomer in the process, is one that is most fascinating to me. You are going to do a Justin Bieber song. Tell us about how the idea came about.
Well, I was lost for what Christmas song I could possibly do on my guitar. And I asked my friend, I was like, what song should I do? And the first thing she said was Mistletoe by Justin Bieber. And I was like, well, and I got to learning it.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to hearing it. I know that we were talking about whether this is a cover of a cover, or I wasn't sure. I'm not big in the Bieber world, as you can imagine, being a Howard. But after looking it up, it looks like some really credible songwriters wrote this for him. And then it was on his, what I'm sure was a $1 billion seller album, Under the Mistletoe.
Oh, yeah.
Which came out in 2011. I think sort of right as Bieber fever, never thought I'd say that phrase, but was sort of taking off. So this particular song was sort of the lead single on that album, and whether it's given Justin Bieber any musical credibility or not, tonight it's going to give Binga Howard some musical credibility for sure. So Binga, it's good to have you back on the scene, and I'm looking forward to this performance. So are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you channeling your inner Bieber?
I'm about to get Bieber fever tonight.
All right. Well, take it away, Binga Howard. Here is Mistletoe on the Scene on 88.1 The Park.
Words on the street. You know what? Of course. Like usual, I always mess up the lyrics. It's the most beautiful time of the year. Lights fill the streets, spreading so much cheer. I should be playing in the winter snow, but I'ma be under the mistletoe. I don't wanna miss out on the holiday, but I can't stop staring at your face. I should be playing in the winter snow, but I'm under the mistletoe. Shawty with you, shawty with you, under the mistletoe. Everyone's gathering around the fire, Chestnuts roasting like a hot July. I should be chilling with my folks, I know, but I'm be under the mistletoe. Words on the street said it's humming tonight. Flame deers flying through the sky so high. I should be making a list, I know, but I'm be under the mistletoe. Shawty with you, shawty with you, under the mistletoe. Shawty with you, shawty with you, under the mistletoe. Hey love, wise men follow the star, the way I followed my heart. It led me to a miracle. Hey love, don't you buy me nothing, 'cause I am feeling one thing, and that's your lips on my lips. It's the most beautiful time of the year. Tides fill the streets, spreading so much cheer. I should be playing in the winter snow, but I'ma be under the mistletoe. I don't wanna miss out on the holiday, but I can't stop staring at your face. I should be playing in the winter snow, but I'm be under the mistletoe. Ooh, shawty with you, shawty with you, under the mistletoe, yeah. Shawty with you, shawty with you, under the mistletoe.
Bing Howard on the scene on 881 The Park. Bing, I always knew you were a talented guy. We go way back. You're my former student at Discovery Middle School. Here's why I know you're talented. You just made Justin Bieber sound really good. So way to go.
Thanks.
That was good. That was good. Good rendition. And as you were playing it, I'm like, oh, I do know this song. But I got to tell you, I like your version a lot better than his.
Thanks.
So thanks for coming in. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us here on the scene. And we're going to shift our attention now to a band called The Finer Things, another Michigan-based group, as we have. It's been kind of nice tonight. We've heard from kind of PCP artists and then other artists that are from the wider scope of the state of Michigan. Bill Keith, you chose this one. What do you know about The Finer Things?
Well, we first heard them because they came into our studio. One of our alums was working with them and hooked us up and made a connection. And they came over to do a live in the band performance thing that we were doing with bands in what's now our office. We had it all set up and bands were performing live in there and it was live on the air. They were one of them, and we instantly fell in love with The Finer Things. And I think they have a PCP connection, and I couldn't prove it online, but one of their members, Dave Hawkins, I'm pretty certain was a PCP grad. And I was looking through the directory of PCP grads, and there was a Dave Hawkins that graduated in 2005, and I think it's him.
Yeah, that's definitely a familiar name. Yeah.
It may, I mean, it's not a very, I mean, it's a pretty common name, but I think it was him, if I remember right. And so, yeah, a little bit of a PCP connection to them. But this was a band that he formed when he was in college at U of M.
Excellent. It's been such a great night of holiday music here on the scene. Bing and Howard, thanks again for coming in and getting a little Bieber fever in the house. And now let's go to Don't December by The Finer Things here on 881 The Park. The Finer Things with Don't December here on the holiday edition of the scene on 881 The Park. Bill Keith, this has been fun.
It has. This
Really?
was a good idea.
It was. A good idea by you.
Kudos.
You know, I was thinking that we just kind of take December off and let the students do their thing. And Bill Keith came up with this great concept to have our bands do Christmas songs and or holiday songs. And I really like the renditions tonight. We had Me and the Dog with Jolly Old St. Nicholas, kind of a haunting acoustic version of it. We had Hilltop Drive with Winter Wonderland with Chris rocking out on the sleigh bells and Chance on the lead vocals. And then we had Bing and Howard doing a little Bieber with Mistletoe. And of course, we started with the Carol of the Bells recording by Cup. And all of these artists have been really great for the scene this year in terms of they've come in, they've done interviews, we've played their music on the station. Most of these artists, too, have taken advantage of the resources at the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio, which has just had a great 2016, and we look forward to providing more opportunities for student musicians in the Plymouth Canton Community Schools area into 2017 and well beyond. Of course, we're located at the Plymouth Arts and Recreation Complex, a nonprofit organization that's just there for young musicians to develop and grow and have a place to go and make noise. So I want to thank all of the artists and student musicians that have come through in the band and been part of that. Bill, it's been a great experience doing these radio shows for the last few months. I want to thank you for allowing In the Band to have part of these airwaves.
Oh, it's our pleasure. This has been a great idea and a great partnership.
Yeah, it certainly has. And we appreciate the exposure that it gives to local music. When we do the Scene Rewind segments and as we kind of look at the local music scene, it is amazing what's come through these three high schools in terms of the level of talent. So we appreciate you, Bill Keith. We wish you well for the next 2 weeks of break. We want to thank all of the artists that came in tonight, and certainly all the recorded artists that we were able to play too. It was nice to check in with some of those very famous Michigan artists as well. So what a great night for the scene. What a great night for local music. Want to wish all students and staff a great and safe and happy 2 weeks of holiday break. And we'll be coming back to you in the last Thursday of January or thereabouts with our newest edition of The Scene on 88.1 The Park, and we will have Hilltop Drive in studio. We look forward to that. I can guarantee you we will be playing the song Horizontal as part of that show, their latest single, which is just absolutely fabulous. Thanks to everyone involved, and we're going to close tonight with What Are You Doing New Year's Eve by Olivia Millershin. Happy 2016 to everybody, and happy 2017, which is on the way. Thank you so much for checking in with The Scene on 88.1 The Park. We will see you soon. Here is Olivia Millershin.